If we want to push this field forward, we need to bring our resources together. That is exactly what is happening in the field. It's not just one single lab that can do the job. We need to have multiple labs working together. And that is the motivation that we are here in Mexico with Mark and other colleagues, Yuhang and others, because we need to work together. We need to be a part of a network. And we are definitely looking forward to shape that network in the future. And that is the hope that we have for the field in terms of being able to bring our resources together. And I had few slides you can find them in my slide. I'm sharing the slides with you at the end to just make sure that you can be a part of these networks and work for these sort of global initiatives. And meanwhile, the last point I was going to show you a few slides about was about something that Mark also mentioned in his talk. We had a meeting in Hamburg a few months ago about innovation in addiction therapeutics. And we also invited a community of people who are basically suffering from substance use disorder to have their representative to be in that meeting, because we have been discussing about innovations, but who is going to use those innovations? Those who are suffering from substance use, and they need to be a part of that discussion in terms of how these things are being developed. When I was presenting about the brain stimulation stuff that we are developing, when this guy came up to the podium and he was presenting, the first thing that he mentioned was what Hamed was presenting today was just very scary for me.
Yeah, Hamed, it was a bit scary from patient perspective to look at that pictures of this new equipment, I should admit. Yeah, very interesting. So, my name is Anton Basenko, and I'm originally Ukrainian. Now I'm based in Brussels in Belgium, and I'm here representing the international network of people who use drugs. Who we are, Input. It's the only network of its kind. It's the global network of people who use drugs. But let me tell you about myself a little bit. So I'm 45 now. I was born in 1980, so as I said, I'm from Ukraine. In a certain sense, my story is atypical for my generation, and at least for my country in Eastern Europe. So I started my experiments with drugs when I was 14. It was mid-90s. Of course, I went through the number of overdosages. I have problems with law enforcement. I lived on the streets. I lost normal connections with my family and friends. And what's important to say, I counted around 50 attempts of different kinds of treatment. So we started from buprenorphine, and I was among the first lucky 30 patients in Kiev, and that really not just stabilized me, but it really saved my life. This journey is not unique. It's happening across the world, but it proves that lived experience is not anecdotal. It's real evidence. Why lived experience matters? Well, innovation is definitely more than just molecules, patents. It's about people. And people who use drugs are amazing experts in surviving broken systems, in identifying treatment barriers, and designing services that actually work. Let's take peer-led harm reduction and community-based opioid agonist therapy. So there is still a wide chasm between scientific development and community reality. Community-led innovations, just a few examples. So peer-led low-threshold opioid agonist treatment models in Ukraine, Kenya, Vietnam, community-designed overdose prevention tech, mutual aid during crisis, network and for instance, Ukraine, which is in the war. So barriers to innovation. We continue to be blocked by really structural barriers, criminalization, lack of legal protection, not only patients but also prescribers, no funding for community-led research and design. Very, very good example been mentioned about Unitate-funded project where a research project about long-acting forms of buprenorphine, loaded space needles in syringes. What we need include people with lived experience from the start, as I said, in designing designing, testing, delivering solutions, fund, co-create pilot projects and scale what works, like I just mentioned this Unit 8 project as example, create pool funding mechanisms that support community-led innovation, and reform drug policy so access and equity aren't blocked by outdated laws. And my final message. Our motto as a community, nothing about us without us. But it's not just a slogan. It's a scientific and ethical imperative. Innovation that excludes is not innovation. If we want to truly transform addiction treatment, we must co-create it with those who have lived and living with it.
It makes sense, right? So we are designing super complex things for people, and those people could be scared. We cannot just sit in academia and develop something in academia that people in the community are not supporting us. And even they are afraid of what we are doing. And they feel, oh my goodness, they are developing that Neurostorm, and how Neurostorm is going to copy my brain and develop a digitized version of my brain. And that is the feeling that people have. And we need to work with the communities. I have a few slides at the end in terms of how to work with communities, how to go down and just be a part of the community, and having them as a part of whatever advanced technologies that you are doing. Because you are doing all those things for them, right? So you are not going to just publish some papers and be famous and just have awards from them. So you want to do something for those communities. You need to have them as a part of the innovation network that you have. So if you want to develop an innovation network, think about how to engage people from communities and having them as a part of the interactions and the innovations and advanced technologies that you are developing, and work together and giving them a good idea about what you are doing and how they are going to be a part of what you are going to be and what you are going to do in the future. Thank you very much.